I'm Major 7th with the New Old Heads, and this is episode 475. This week, we had a thorough discussion on Spotify's hip-hop list of new leaders and why Spotify isn't the voice for determining such. We also talked about Nipsey Hussle's marathon as it truly continued, especially coming off him having a square named after himself on Crenshaw and Slauson. And we also talked about Lil Yachty's distasteful comments about older rappers. Support us and get the uncut 2-hour show by becoming a Patreon member for $5. And if you're on YouTube, please click the bell and turn on notifications. We'll see you in the comments. Peace. You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. The brothers are in the building. My man Jay Moore, how are you, good sir?
I'm doing well. Just trying to stay warm and stay dry in this crazy weather.
I heard that, man. My man Lonegevity, hey buddy.
Howdy, sir.
Good to see you.
You too?
All right. My man DJ Jay Diff, what's happening, man?
Salutations.
Happy birthday to you, brother.
Thank you. I
know it's
appreciate
gonna
it,
be
man.
later, but you know, we gotta celebrate the homies, man.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah, hope you've had a great day, my man.
Gratitude.
For sure. So Spotify stamps hip-hop's future.
So Spotify named 8 artists that they feel as though are the leaders of the new gen when it comes to hip hop. And those artists are Baby Keem from Las Vegas, Glorilla from Memphis, Doechii from Tampa, Florida, Central C from London, Sexy Red from St. Louis, Missouri, Rod Wave from St. Petersburg, Florida, Lil Tecca from New York. I didn't know Lil Tecca was from New York. And then Big X the Plug from Dallas. I feel as though this is mostly based on the numbers. The 2 or 3 artists that I actually feel are based on actual skill and talent, artistry, is Baby Keem, Doechii, and Glorilla. Everybody else, they can get the hell up out of here.
As you can see, you see where he stands on this. So the first question I posed is, does Spotify's new leaders list actually represent the future of hip hop, or is this simply a leaderboard for their highest earning streaming assets?
I mean, it's just a leaderboard.
Now keep in mind now, we're older.
Yeah, I get that.
We have to take that into consideration as it relates to how this generation looks at said artists that were listed. I have to remember that as well.
No, I mean, I could see a couple of these make sense to me. The one that stands out, and I'm out to St. Louis, that's my hometown, but Sexy Red's music has been ice cold for a minute. Like, with, you know, back
Been ice ass for a long time.
Thank you, Lone.
You know, but when we talked about how
Don't do that.
they had that record with Bruno Mars last year.
Yeah.
And didn't work for her or Bruno Mars. She had a song with Snoop that didn't do anything. Like, she's had a couple feature situations. You know, apparently she was going to try to use a Michael Jackson record, and family was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know, I just think
She was horrible. I don't know if you heard it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I heard it. But yeah, I mean, like, that's the one that kind of puzzles me, because she's already hit her peak and is on the way down.
She's on the decline.
She's on the decline. You know, I just think as far as her being and you just have to give credit where credit is due. At one point, anything she put out or was featured on went into heavy rotation or became something that was on TikTok or was played outside and on the radio. But that's been well over a year now. Big X the Plug, I see him with a bit of motion. You know, I see him in, what is it, the Prize Picks commercial, and do all this other stuff.
He act like he don't want to be out of way hip hop.
But that's what I was gonna bring up.
True.
You know, so I can see the ones I could see. Baby Keem, I can see Baby Keem. I can see Glorilla. Those
Doechii.
And definitely
Doechii for sure.
You know, if we're talking about the future.
Yeah.
I see those 3 make sense to me. But yeah, when, you know, even when I see Lil Tecca, I can see the only reason I even know about Lil Tecca because my godson is a fan.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, let me see what he's listening to and what is this wave about, you know. So that's the only reason I'm even aware.
I'm not even here.
I just think we got to stop equating numbers to
Greatness,
culture.
success.
To culture and greatness.
Yeah.
And
Especially from a company like Spotify.
right.
I mean, like,
I hate Spotify.
Yeah, because
It's
they don't care nothing about. They're not even a music company.
no.
Their playlists don't even work right.
I was
Man,
actually
Not even playlists, but just like having your music on Spotify. Like, and this is just a heads up to artists. If y'all are not putting your music on other platforms other than Spotify,
I won't listen.
I don't want to listen to it because it's going to skip whatever it wants to skip. I can't just go down the line and listen to the shit. And like, why are you not putting your music on YouTube Music? But I'm done with that. Never mind.
Yeah.
No, I just that's actually a good point. But I'm just, when I saw Doechii, in my mind I'm thinking Doechii is the underground Doechii that we enjoyed and watched the videos and all that, but she has expanded now. But I didn't think she would be on something like this. And again, I'm not giving Spotify, flowers to them, but I was surprised to see that. But
if you talk about a future standpoint, it makes sense.
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. And I'm gonna push back slightly on. I'm a big X fan. I actually like Young Fella.
Okay.
But I understand what Terry's talking about in terms of
we talked about
the
it.
dabbling, right? Like we talked about a little bit of that. But I'm gonna give Big X the plug. I'm gonna shoot him some bail. I think he was justified, but the rest of it, I'm with Reed. So I think he named those three maybe. I think that's it.
He said Doechii, Glorilla, and Baby Keem.
Oh, he didn't say Big X. I'm gonna throw Big X in there.
He said Big X. Big X was
No, he didn't say Big X as far as being somebody he would co-sign.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I'm gonna shoot him some bail. But other than that, man, like I think he broke it down exactly, what the point of this list was and what the basis of it is.
It's just. We're over this by now, like, aren't we?
Yeah. Because that's what I was about to ask. Like,
because in 6 months.
The second question I was going to pose is: does it even matter what Spotify says at this point?
No, it hasn't. It's never mattered. But I would reference like these artists. I would say that On the Radar had more of a pulse.
That's what I was about to say.
They
that's
have
exactly
more of
what
a
I was
pulse
gonna
of
say.
what's actually good and what's going on right now than what Spotify does.
Mm-hmm.
We just watched a video last week with Chris Patrick, Marlon Craft, Ray Vaughn, Nassan, Ruben Vincent, Larizi, Marco Plus, Overcast, Ben Riley, and Suave. And there are a lot
especially
of
if we're talking about the future of hip hop.
And don't get me wrong, there are others. Baby Keem's on that list as well. There are others that are on that list as well. Samara Sin's on that list. There's a lot of people that are making good music right now, and
you named some hitters though on that list.
I'm just tired of this conversation of like, from the perspective of like putting a corporation
at you keep saying exactly what's going through my head. I'm not gonna have nothing to say. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying like putting the corporation at the head of like
culture,
being able to dictate what's good and what's not. Like why are we doing this? Like So shouts to Reed. He's correct.
Yeah. Everything Lone just said is exactly what I was.
That's
about
what you was
to say.
on.
All of it. Like literally the from the On the Radar to. I mean, we're focusing on a corporation to tell us who we're supposed to listen to.
Yeah,
since when did
hip hop become somebody that pays attention to the corporation?
Good point.
Honestly, they've been doing it a little too long.
They have, but as far as you're telling me what I'm supposed to listen to,
there we go.
You're telling me what hip hop is, and you don't look like hip hop. Like you can put the hip hop into the corporate machine. Obviously, that's how a lot of it gets sold and moved and all of that. But as far as you telling me who I'm supposed to be listening to and who the future is, and I'm actually tapped in, I think I have a better idea what the future of hip hop is from that aspect.
Preach, brother.
So, in that video though, Read My Soul actually made a very good point about a segment that is literally deceased because they were killed or met their demise, unfortunately. So. Those were who was that? Extension,
Pop Smoke.
Pop Smoke.
You had
Juice WRLD.
Yep.
He brought up all of those individuals, and I had never thought about it like that. I'm like, damn, that is a whole of people that were influential as far as hip hop is concerned.
Elite in that area.
Even to a lesser extent, PNB Rock.
True.
Yeah, but that whole section is just removed because they all were around the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
But as far as like a Spotify list, I'm not paying attention to nothing that Spotify puts in front of me. I've been going through listening to music from people that have been sent to us to judge, and just trying to listen to their music on Spotify has been a headache for me.
I ignore it.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to give this person the benefit of the doubt and listen to the music. It'll play it, or it might skip 4 songs. It will never go back to the other one unless you're a paying customer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it will not. It's not friendly to you unless you're paying them. So like, just my advice to artists: if you're trying to get your music out there and want somebody to listen to it, you should probably use more streaming services than Spotify.
Yeah.
Like, that's just crazy.
And plus, I'm that cynic that believes, okay, who paid for this list? You know,
I mean, it's already paid for because they're corporate.
well,
I'm too anti-capitalist for this conversation. I just,
but you know, and because you know, like Sexy Red has some real backing, and I know it sounds like I'm getting on, you know, her and her people, but I know but she has a real, like, she's got money behind her, and so like when
she had a Drake cosign,
you know, because you know. When you see certain things happening, it just doesn't happen organically. I'm sorry, I just don't have enough faith in the system or the record business anymore to believe that this isn't something that's bought and paid for.
Yeah.
And so, especially like I said, at one point you couldn't do anything as far as like if you're doing something outside, you had to have those Sexy Red records. That's been a minute now, and it just happened to coincide with the time when you know, I got out of the business, but at the same time, like I still have enough, you know, people I can talk to and say, hey, what is this record doing? What is this record doing? And it's doing, when they tell me it's not doing anything. We didn't, Fat, Juicy and Wet was not a hit. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't.
And I'm pretty sure there was a lot of money behind that.
bro, that Michael Jackson thing was so bad.
Man,
I'm talking about
terrible.
bad.
Like, it was like, wow. Like, you actually thought this was a good idea.
Yeah, that's nuts. And as I would also add too that when you consider the future of hip hop, I don't think it should only be considered as somebody that's been around for a couple years, because there's people that's been around longer who are just now picking up steam.
Yep.
Good
So
point.
they would
Very
be
good
considered the future as well. Like Jid is somebody I would definitely consider the future of hip hop
Mhm.
when it comes to somebody that I feel like he's carrying the
Sure.
flag and he's representing hip hop the correct way.
True.
Even what was dude's name? He used to go by YBN. He's married to the
Cordae.
Cordae.
Yeah.
Cordae is
tough.
somebody else I would consider the future of hip hop if we're talking about people that are on another scale as far as optic wise.
His name hasn't been paid for though.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true too. But there's a whole lot more people that I would
man.
look at as far as being the future of
Mick
hip hop.
Jenkins. I mean,
Come
Yeah,
on,
definitely.
Come on, Lone.
We're talking,
McJenkins.
but now we're talking about art.
Yeah.
Smino.
Smino. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, like
Shot-
these all these artists are
La Russell.
La Russell. Yeah. I mean, we know better.
Yeah, we know a lot better, and like honestly, I would probably only give this to because I kind of feel like some of these artists have crossed over into the pop territory. Doechii being one of them.
Yeah, me too.
And also, I mean, she does represent hip hop, but
She does.
she has a crossover appeal. Doechii is more pop than just hip hop. Glorilla, as far as women are concerned, and not being sexist or anything like that, I mean, she's a solid representation of what women MCs can do if they're balancing the entertainment value and the skill value, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Baby King, I mean, he's solid. He's Kendrick's cousin at the end of the
That's
day.
gonna help.
These are people that all have certain qualities that would deem them as far as having a very nice future as far as their career wise musically, but as far as being somebody optically that I'm looking for as far as the actual future of hip hop and you're the face, I would probably pick other people.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Agreed. And let's not forget people like Coast Contra. And let's not forget people, you know, like,
Love Coast Contra.
I mean,
Yeah.
Lecrae's doing his thing in his own little field.
Is.
I love the fact that Coast Contra is a representation of their dad because their dad never got that super look, you know what I'm saying, hip hop wise is considered, and his sons are equally as good as him.
Yeah.
And have the opportunity to, you know what I'm saying, carry the torch for their pops.
And I'll even say this. Raskaz is still making music. He's dropped music this year that is really good.
Yeah.
He's still nice.
Yeah, I never stopped listening to Raskaz's
Yeah, he's
music.
good.
Yeah.
Like, he's Leopard Eats Face.
That's one of the reasons he said he didn't want them to go through this path.
Yeah.
No, I can
Because
understand
he never, you know what I'm saying, touched the
went through
type of success.
He went through so much bullshit.
Yeah, he had a whole album that pretty much was just wiped away because of record label
Goldchild.
Yeah.
Let's also not forget that there's also a couple other people here. There's Marlon Craft we mentioned earlier, but there's Kai Cash, is that his name? Kai Cash? Yeah, Kai Cash, Akeem Ali. These dudes are dope. You know, Mavi, he was here at Trace a couple years ago. You know, like there's a lot of people. Kenny Mason. That I could talk about this. There's tons of people that are doing like continually making. IDK is another younger dude that's been doing a lot of stuff, and so yeah.
But yeah, these artists are promising. I feel like they've already made it to the point where they're considered something else, though. You know what I'm saying? When I think about the future of something, I feel like somebody up and coming.
Right.
I feel like they've already arrived.
Base of corporate capital in hip hop.
Yeah.
Which I don't care about.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Excuse. So much for we always.
You just took an academics drink.
Yeah.
Was that academics drink?
Yeah, when he was listening to Drake.
Oh, sorry. I
Salivating.
don't want to do anything that's associated with fam, so my apologies.
Drake made a cryptic post yesterday.
Don't do that long.
That his album might be on the way.
No, I don't
Okay.
care.
Yeah.
Just interesting. You know what I'm saying?
All
You just
right.
had to put something out there.
Whatever.
The Iceman cometh, right?
Yeah. I don't understand why he hasn't changed the name of that, man. That's just
He's
so
gonna stick with
tone
it. He
deaf.
had the ice truck
Because
coming
he
through.
is tone deaf. Because
Yeah.
this Kendrick exposed why
Yeah.
we know.
Like, I
Again,
honestly think he would get more respect right now if he just went a different way as far as even just the album title.
yeah.
I will say this though,
It's not that deep, bro.
as it pertains to Drake. Before we go to the next topic, my stance on him being Teflon still stands through all of this, through the Iceman, through the ice truck, the skating rink, whatever the hell we want to talk about. This man is going to be successful with this project. I'm just telling you, I still think he's Tom Brady. I still think he's Teflon.
Success doesn't mean that it's good,
It
though.
does not. We from the same school on that. I'm just telling y'all.
I just don't.
I think it's
don't
going to be
care.
received.
Maybe I'm just on that time today. I just don't care. Like
Well,
I
that's fine.
I just don't care about it. Who cares? What?
I mean,
what's
I'm not.
deemed a
I ain't saying I'm
success,
checking
like,
for it. I'm just
To
saying.
me, like I know. I'm just saying,
You know
like
that.
I know. Just in general, like the whole conversation around checking numbers and who's
Yeah.
winning, and it's like
Yeah.
pocket watching on this massive scale. It's like who f***ing cares? Like,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
like do you like it? You know, like I'm a cynic today.
Yeah, I
The
feel
world's
that.
on fire. I
always blame
It's all
Jay-Z
good.
is one of my favorite rappers ever. And I blame it on him because he mentioned it. And people always take away and say that Jay is this and he's that and he don't mean shit. Jay set a lot of trends and made people start paying attention to certain things.
True.
And that's one of them. He said men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So then all of a sudden we start paying attention to numbers. And here we are.
not realizing that Jay-Z doesn't know what the talking about.
I mean, he did in that time period. It made sense.
It made
But-
sense to us because it was new, but we know too much now.
I mean,
Yeah.
he said it in what you call it. He was like, only dudes moving units. M, Pimp, Juice,
He
and
was
us.
he was selling it. He was making.
No,
he
he
was
sold it.
actually yeah. So it was different. And we weren't paying attention to
Yeah.
streaming optics and things
True.
of that nature. That's what made it be like.
That's
Damn.
when people. I mean, because people would just go, "Yeah, look at the sound scan." I was like, "Look, I just remember there was a time we didn't look at sound scan."
Yeah.
Hey,
You know, but once again, I think the first time I heard it, well, because this SoundScan was new, because SoundScan didn't come around until the early 90s, maybe going into the mid 90s. Before that, there was reporting done by record stores would actually send in their fax in their numbers. And like, you didn't know what they were selling. They might have been, promo copies and punch outs and all that good shit. This is when, like, if you went to Best Buy or Camelot Music, did y'all have Camelot?
Yeah, we had Camelot.
And
karma.
when literally they would scan the CD you bought, that number would automatically get reported.
Yeah.
So there wasn't as much, messing with the numbers, because at one point, like even before BDS on radio, like the program director would say, "Oh yeah, we played Stevie Wonder 25 times this week." He might not have played it once, but like if a record exec had got to him and say, "Make sure you put 25 down for Stevie," like there was a lot more
I bet they put it
fudging
down.
of the numbers. I mean, and all it did was evolve into bots.
Yeah.
So
It is
I
what
mean,
it
there was a
is.
time when everything was pretty much on the level, and people are always going to find a way to cheat the system.
Yeah. Indeed.
Cheat
All
it.
right, man. Let's go to
Body Minaj.
Shout out to cheating the system.
Cheating and cheating.
Shout out to cheating. All right, let's go. Let's go ahead and go to this next topic. Go, well, you would have liked Karma Records, bro. Posters they had.
Still around.
Well,
Yeah, it's
not
literally
the same.
still around.
Really?
I don't think it feels.
It was my baseball team when I was in 3rd grade.
Thank you.
Yeah, they were your sponsor.
Yeah,
We had a Karma at the
That's what's
crib.
up.
they were the
You can go
sponsor.
in there.
No, that's what I'm
You
saying.
can go in there and get you some nice incense and
Oh man,
They had the back room I could go into.
Had that.
No idea
that.
what was back there.
probably porn.
Probably.
Why you say it so regular like that?
Mm.
Right,
That's
porn.
probably
What it was.
I mean, you couldn't go back there. So
Like, listen,
Incense, posters. They had
Listen.
everything in Karma.
my neighborhood record store was right next door to a dirty magazine place.
Oh man,
So like the windows were all blacked out and shit, and
he's so lost.
literally right next door to the record store. This is where I would go and get early copies and shit.
Come on.
This is where Luke might pull up in his van. Scarface might show up there. Too Short, like the artist was there. But anyway, there's a dirty magazine store right next door. And sometimes if we were so inclined, after we left the record store, we might just open the door just so we can look in there and let the door close.
There you go.
Because, I mean, we were kids. You know what I'm saying? Oh, damn, let me see what's in there. Oh, shit, okay.
Oh, that's what they
So
got.
then you memorize where everything is at.
so you could get a good
So,
peek.
I had a friend that was like, okay, I'm about to go steal a magazine because I seen where the magazine rack
I
was.
see what I want to look at.
He
Ran
went-
into the
Opened the
knocked them all
door, ran in
over.
there, grabbed a magazine or two, and ran back out.
And then
Yeah.
if you be, he's like, man, I went in there and grabbed some gay stuff.
Nah,
and
it
didn't-
wasn't. It wasn't like that. But
No.
yeah.
Heathens.
But you know,
heathens.
it's really
They didn't have stuff out like that.
well. You know, what's really bad is like if you go to certain liquor stores. I don't even know if they still do.
Oh
this.
yeah, they do.
And
yeah.
like you go to certain liquor stores, you just want to get you some beer and a fifth of something, and then you can't get up to the spot
yeah.
without seeing the nastiest of the nasty.
Yeah.
It's not like just a Playboy or a penthouse.
it's different.
It's stuff in there. I was like,
Get you a booty mag.
yeah. It's I'm not even going to repeat the one that I saw that me and my friend used to laugh about all the
Hey,
time.
man.
We was just trying to get some burnettes so we could party a little bit.
Yeah, man.
And it was just these nasty magazines.
Super
all
holes.
yeah,
Don't,
exactly.
don't do that.
Expand
Don't
it.
do that.
Expand it.
I'm just saying, it's probably what it
Don't
was.
do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I already did.
Picking up XL areola magazines.
Yo, man, y'all know Sir Duncan is in the room. Stop it,
He
man.
looks nothing like Sir Duncan. People,
All
nothing
right.
like him.
Yeah.
So,
He's probably 5'7". Sir Duncan is literally called Sir Duncan the Tall.
yes,
Facial features don't match
they do. With weight.
at all.
With weight.
He's just white.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
All
right.
look alike.
Has
That's
on
right.
glasses.
If you go, yeah, don't take your kids to those liquor stores that have those type of
Jay's still over here talking
periodicals.
about.
Talking about
Yeah.
expanded. Yeah, we
I
ain't
know.
want to talk about
That's
that.
something you brought up.
Nah, you still on it, though.
Yeah.
You got to chill.
We were
bro.
talking about Sir Duncan the Tall. You brought
right
up
back
again.
to
I was like-
expanded.
Hey, people don't watch all these shows.
Yeah, man.
All right,
That's
man.
fair.
Let's go to this next topic.
The very
My childhood was lit though. If
I
that
feel
didn't
you.
let you
Yeah,
know
exactly.
speaking of buttholes. You remember the first
Can we
scene
clip that?
of Sir Duncan the Tall when he took the shit by the
bro.
tree?
Yeah, man.
Projectile.
Watery shit.
I was
No.
so thrown off by that, bro.
He
Like,
needs more fiber in his life.
Oh,
fam,
man.
like 6'7", bending behind a tree, bro. Like, what is that, man?
It was pretty crazy.
I didn't need that.
Anyways,
I
All
do
right.
like. Then we can get on with it. I do like the comedic relief in this series of
Yeah, I
Game
do
of
too.
Thrones versus the other.
it reminded me of like kind of where they maybe it's even more comedic than the Game of Thrones even.
It is.
But
Egg really is that dude, though. The Egg is that guy. All right.
he's a child.
He's very funny,
He
though.
looks like Bonk. I don't know if y'all remember Bonk's Revenge
Yeah.
on TurboGrafx.
He reminds me of Caillou.
Yeah, but everybody.
I have no idea. Who you're
Everybody
talking
didn't
about.
have that system. And my cousins, they always got the other system.
Yeah, I did too. I had
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Caillou is Caillou.
Can you send me reference points for these two? I don't know what you're
You don't
talking
know
about.
what Bonk's Adventure?
I don't.
I don't know what that is.
Nobody in your crew had a TurboGrafx 16.
Nah, we wasn't doing it like that.
Not even Caillou.
I don't even know what you're
Caillou
talking
was a
about.
cartoon. He
Oh,
was a
even Sir Doug
know
is
what?
shocked. I don't know who that
This
is.
kid.
You don't know what Caillou is?
I don't.
This
yeah,
kid
that
right
was-
here.
yeah. You don't remember
Oh,
when
he do
Bass,
kind of like Egg a little
you
bit.
don't remember
Okay.
when Bass Rusty had a whole
Man,
series
he wasn't
about
here.
Caillou?
He wasn't here for that.
I don't know
Yeah.
nothing about that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bass
Rap
Rusty.
like-
Shout out to him. That shit used to crack me
I have
up.
no
dude.
idea
And
what
that
y'all
was the
talking
early
about.
days of like
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah, man, that shit was funny as
He was on his Lil B the bass guy.
Yeah, man.
Little Pete the bass god.
Yeah,
That's how Fonte was there.
that shit was hilarious.
Lil B the bass god.
All right, man. Let's jump into this next topic.
You are now listening to the New Old Heads podcast. Our official 1-hour episode is released every Saturday at noon Eastern, but we share the exclusive uncut 2-hour episode to our Patreon members early every Wednesday. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Bringing Down the Band, and most importantly, you. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads, where we embrace the new, respect the old, and remain ahead.
On Sunday, February 28th, the city of Los Angeles officially unveiled Nipsey Hussle Square, located at the corner of Crenshaw Boulevard and Slauson Avenue. Nipsey Hussle's brother and wife, Black Sam and Lauren London, actually spoke at the ceremony. So here's a video of Black Sam kind of talking about what this means, and then we'll go into some questions.
I hope people feel inspired. I hope people feel take a step back and understand all the things Hussle went through to get to the point where he would be able to inspire multiple. But in the beginning, he just wanted, he had a dream and he wanted to chase his dream, and he always wanted to inspire the people that come from the exact circumstances and situations that he was in to make it and to be able to have the city rename a section for bro. I think it is huge. And it just goes back to what bro, he always wanted to inspire. The highest human act is to inspire. So people should see that, understand the journey, and just reflect and be inspired.
So shout out to Black Sam, who's been he opened a new Marathon Burger location. I think foolishness happened, but I don't know what happened after that. But salute to him.
Stevie Wonder was there.
He was there, wasn't he? That's the ultimate flex, having Stevie in your burger joint. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, Nip messed with Stevie stuff too.
Yeah, that's what's up. So the question I would pose is, 7 years after Nipsey's timely passing, do we truly feel that the marathon is still continued? If so, how?
I mean, for the fact that they're able to open this location, this kind of speaks for itself.
So when I say that, I mean Nip was.
What does the marathon continuing mean?
So
Exactly.
That was the theme to me, I look at it as everything that he was involved in and his goals, his aspirations. He had some educational things he was trying to do. He influenced rappers. He had the clothing brand. He wanted to be an entrepreneur with restaurants, things that Black Sam is starting to take on from now on. I'm sorry, since he's passed away. So I guess I'm just asking, because to me, the marathon was huge. It was beyond just rap. It was his entrepreneurial side, his educational side, even back to the hood, all that. So I think it's deeper than just the restaurants. But sometimes I hear people people in certain interviews that say, has it truly continued? Because, Nip was super popular. Now, 7 years afterwards, I'm just trying to figure out where we see it.
I don't think the marathon continues was directly related to Nipsey per se. I think it was because he was the one who said it.
Right.
Right. So I feel like the marathon continuing is more so about like a grind hustle mindset.
Yeah.
Oh, an actual mindset versus
him specifically.
Versus him. That's fair. I'm not mad at that.
That's the way that I looked at it. It was just like, stay on your stuff, still stay out here, continue to develop, build things within your communities, make bad situations great situations, things of that nature. That's what I've always taken from it. Less specifically about Nipsey. Like, I don't think he was centering himself in that. I personally, I could be wrong, but
that's fair. Jump in, Terry.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And then when you talk about the brand, you got to realize it can operate solely in California, and it still means that it's successful. From that standpoint, of course, Nip was on a more global recognition, but we've still yet to hear from his offspring. He has little kids that are going to hopefully pick up where he left off without having to grind as much as he did, because they're already positioned to make it, and they're pretty much in a better situation than he was.
Sure.
So that they don't have to go through the same things that he went through. They have a successful mother, and they just have people that they can look up to, and take that on and continue it that way. But like I'm kind of where Lone is as far as the marathon continuing is more so a mind state, a mindset that was kind of to, you know what I'm saying, engage and inspire people, so to speak.
Which is basically what Black Sam alluded to in the clip.
And obviously
inspiration.
Black Sam is continuing to do what his brother set out to do. Musically, not so much, but as far as what he was trying to do for the community,
right?
Black Sam is a great representation of that. I'm
not mad at that at all. I actually agree. And you know, when he talked about Nip wanting to inspire people like him or that come from where he comes from, I think that kind of alludes to what you both are talking about in terms of perseverance, just continuing to grind, especially from the people that were from his hood. They looked up to him as an example of someone that, you know, can get out of the hood and actually do it. Sure. What you think, Jay?
I think to a certain extent, you know, it has to continue, and it has continued because you can't be in a situation where you're still maintaining businesses and things that, you know, bore his name and say it hasn't continued. Because trust me, like there are some people that, you know, we got behind and were like, oh yeah, we're never going to let it go. And then 2 years later, 2 years, not 7, you know, it was like, oh yeah, rest in peace to him. You know, it's not for, and this is, you know, this goes back to kind of what we were saying when we are not supposed to pay attention to metrics and whatnot, because Nipsey wasn't played on the radio, at least not here in Indianapolis. I remember when he was alive.
We rocked with him before all the
right.
We rocked with him,
you know, but that's because we pay attention to actual hip hop and the culture and what goes on, as opposed to saying we're just going to come in here and talk about people who sold a lot of records every week. You know, what would be special or dope about that?
Sure.
So that's where Nipsey's real impact was. It was not on the charts. You know, he didn't win a bunch of Grammys. He should have won a Grammy when he was nominated. You know, even it would have been posthumous, but it would have been for a record that came out and was his vision when he was alive. But he should have won. That's not.
100%.
But you know what? It's not like when he didn't win, we're like, oh, well, you know, Nipsey's not as good because he doesn't have a Grammy. Nipsey's not as good because he didn't sell. He doesn't have a diamond plaque, or he doesn't have this, that, and the third on his wall. Nipsey was good because he was Nipsey. His record is one of those ones that came out, was anticipated by a certain kind of fan, and probably was better than what some people anticipated.
Still is.
So, you know, it ties into so many things of why Nipsey is important. Nipsey is still relevant even this many years after his death.
I'm gonna give you another key point. Nipsey gave La Russell a blueprint to follow, so that would give you another key to the marathon has continued.
Yep.
He pretty much took his formula as far as how he sells albums. He's very independent. These are all things that Nipsey was preaching. These are things that Nipsey was practicing. He's community based. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I mean, to your point, I feel like if we're just going to talk about has the marathon continued, I would argue that he has had such an influence on the culture of do it yourself right now. It's, even though you don't talk about him as much, but when you think about what he was doing and what he built for himself, and you see everything that's like kind of come out of it, even myself, and I'm not even propping myself up like this, but I talk and I teach this stuff on a regular basis. It's the same stuff that Nipsey was talking about, you know, and we're seeing a lot. Curtis King talks about this stuff all the time too, you know, like anything that's anti-Spotify, that's this stuff is directly from that. This is like owning your own stuff, putting it out, selling things your own way, having control of like the art that you are creating and the things that you're creating in that nature. And so I think his influence is far bigger than just a couple stores. And
his brand.
You know, like it's so much
mentality.
Yeah, it's the culture around owning yourself. You know what I mean? And so I think it's
controlling your own destiny.
Yeah, as much as you can, and still playing with the game that's given to you. You know what I mean? So
no, I think y'all are right, man. Terry definitely made a good point about the artist even if you
The Russell's a great example.
you can tell that his impact, even from a music standpoint, when you listen to some of the stuff that you come across, I can hear it myself. I can say, yeah, that's Nip, or yeah, that's Nip, or I can see Nip as influences as well. So
He just dropped a new song. I don't know if you guys have heard it. It's good.
I have not.
It's called County Jail. It dropped last week.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's good. It's on. If you watch my
Yeah,
Turn
I
Off Your
wouldn't
Radio
have-
series,
Look out now.
That drops every week, and you would know that it's number 4 on my list for last week. But no, it's a really good record. Sounds like old Nip. And it doesn't sound like a
It's not.
posthumous record.
Yeah, I was about to say it's not
Yeah.
pieced. It's not pieced.
Nope.
Well, look, man. Shout out to. I think this is a huge honor. His brother obviously was impressed about it, and
J. Cole actually stopped by there and
I saw
cooked some
that.
burgers and shit too.
Yeah, yeah. So it clearly is continuing in, as we've alluded to, in multiple ways. So that's just a shout out, and that's a just speaks to his legacy. So it's dope to see somebody that's a artist, especially someone that's taken away at that young of an age, to still be able to have impact that we can actually, it's tangible. We can actually see it.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's dope. And hopefully it continues, to Terry's point, especially as his babies get older. Can't wait to see what that next phase looks like as they continue to, rock with the marathon. So salute to Nip, man. That's a big honor
Yeah, they pops left him a nice legacy.
for sure. Lil Yachty is still mad at older rappers. So Yachty recently stirred up a debate by calling the 1979 classic Rapper's Delight weak as hell during an appearance on the Bootleg Kev show. Now, this latest comment is part of a long-running pattern of the Atlanta rapper offering provocative takes on hip-hop history and his predecessors. Shout out to Charles Brown. This is his opinion on Lil Yachty and his comments.
Yep. And shouts to Charles Brown with the Mud Kids right front and center there.
Yes, sir.
Shouts to Naptown. Shouts to Russ. Nasty Slim. Or Naptown Slim?
Based Rusty.
Yeah. Based rapping Caillou as Rusty
Redenbacher.
Redenbacher.
Still with it.
I decided to go with the word twit in describing Lil Yachty. British English, and it's a silly or foolish person. Because if you look around at the things Lil Yachty has said and done over the past couple years, and I'm not going to be too hard on the kid, Lil Yachty is desperately trying to, even though it doesn't matter, no one's still talking about him in regards to hip hop and using his name as some type of punching bag or this, that, and the third. He still desperately wants that conversation to be rehashed and to have his name taken from over here in the waste management trash can to be put over here with the real rappers. I don't know why. If you look at the freestyle with him reading off of that phone, which I'm not sure someone didn't write, but the fact that he even thought that he could read off a phone tells you he doesn't know anything about this culture.
That's more so about his freestyle though.
No, but what Brown is saying is, you may not be the messenger, the correct messenger to talk about people being whack when you look at yourself in the era that you're in and how you're being perceived.
That's the conversation. That's the conversation. But I think too that we need to include the clip of him actually saying this stuff, which is right here.
You got it?
Yes.
Okay, can you put it up to the mic?
If it was 2016 and I knew it was so much bull in the 90s, I'd be like, yo, y'all tripping. There was a lot of weak ass going on out there. I always think about the first song in hip hop: a hip, a hop, a hip, a
Rapper's Delight,
boom, top and the boom, da, da. And I be thinking like, damn, bro, y'all be really acting like we was the only saying didn't make no sense.
You know what's crazy? There was the freestyle that he alluded to was like a couple days later on a LA radio station, and the freestyle was trash. People have been roasting the freestyle ever since, which goes back to the point about you're really not the messenger, sir, to talk about somebody being trash when you're in your own era. A lot of people look at you as trash. So that's neither here nor there. Thank you for the clip, by the way. But the question I would pose is, has the old school versus new school debate become a redundant loop, or is it a necessary conflict that forces each generation to define what quality and innovation actually mean?
It's not a redundant loop. It really is a situation where we have to have the conversation with younger, either hip hop artists or hip hop fans. And regardless of what you think, personally, it may not fit the aesthetic that you find to be appealing. if there was no Rapper Delight, first of all, you wouldn't be here.
That's fair.
So you have to, give respect where respect is due. And you got to understand there's been a certain level of evolution that has come from that, where I think as an older fan, sometimes I get, I'm disappointed is where I see either the music going backwards or staying too much the same. When I hear, if I hear something in 2026 that's not that much better than what came out in 1978, then
it's a problem.
That's a problem. Or in 1988, 88 is a golden time. That's when you had the Big Daddy Kanes, the Rakims. That's when Run DMC was still out here. You saw a huge growth in hip hop. EPMD hitting their stride. When they make their debut. If you're not doing it, at least if you're not doing better than that in 2026, unless you're paying some sort of homage to that particular kind of music, then I have a problem. The fact that some people are just so happy to, have their ABC 1, 2, 3 raps out there and saying, well, this is what people like, or this is the best I can do. I can't accept that from you, not because I have anything personally against you, but I have to say, look, if you're going to carry the torch for hip hop, you have to carry it forward as opposed to backward or just standing still because you think that's what works. I mean, there's a couple songs that, Yachty does that I find sort of catchy, but I'm never listening to him and saying, whoa, that was crazy what he said. And I think that's where he's frustrated because people don't respect him as a lyricist like that.
Well, be better.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, you understand your limitations, perhaps. Maybe he doesn't understand his limitations.
I don't even think he cares, honestly.
Which goes to...
But at the same time, for him to the things he says about Rapper's Delight, once again, you wouldn't be here without Rapper's Delight.
Have you listened to your own music?
Yeah,
that's the part.
Before you say anything about anything else that somebody else did 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, you have to listen to what you are doing right now. And the thing is, you can still get into a certain situation where you can put on Rapper's Delight and people will still enjoy it. There's not a lot of Lil Yachty records that have maintained their relevance or people even enjoying them. Here it is, 10 years later after you hit the scene.
This is the problem. This is somebody that made a song talking about taking a walk to Poland.
Yeah.
And we're that critical of Rapper's Delight, which came out in the 70s, actually. He talked about the 80s and 90s and wanting to call out stuff that ain't shit. Okay. Lo and behold, that's cool. But these are foundations. These are building blocks that made it to where you're able to create right now. This is like somebody being mad, an R&B artist talking about hidey, 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 hi.
Yeah.
He ain't saying nothing in that song either, but it was a creating block to make R&B evolve into what it is.
R&B, jazz, whatever. You
know what I'm saying? It's not something that I'm going to demand just because music has evolved into something else. That's just not where I'm coming from as far as conversation is concerned. I think that's the problem with a lot of the artists that want to call out people from their previous generations because they don't like what they're doing. They want to try to, make whatever came before them lower or lesser. You're supposed to be better than that. You know what I'm saying? If I laid a foundation, you're not supposed to be building a mud hut anymore. You're supposed to be building something that's built out of brick. Yeah. And if you don't take that knowledge and that understanding and know how to apply it correctly, then you're going to feel slighted because you're not making the strides that you want to make. Obviously, you're making a lot more money than the people that created the structure for you, but you're not regarded as such because you're not making quality music that will reserve where we're at now. And then you followed it up with a shitty freestyle, which doesn't help your case. And it's crazy because on the show, we were critical of Lil Yachty at first. We've heard some things that he's done that were good. Well, okay, he's got a little something in him. We also heard that he had never listened to Tupac and Biggie.
Gave him the benefit.
Gave him the benefit of the doubt. And then you followed up with this. It's like, you can't keep getting passes for being ignorant to what's going on in a genre that you want to flourish in.
Because I guarantee you, if there were say there was a young rock group and they would say, "Man, listen to the Rolling Stones. This shit sucks." I guarantee you, they wouldn't be given a pass.
No,
they wouldn't be given a pass. If they said, "Man, that Nirvana shit, it was cool, but you know what I'm saying?
That shit's still hard to me."
Exactly. But just imagine if somebody who was trying to put out a record in 2026 would say something crazy about Nirvana, or like I said, or go back to the Rolling Stones, or whoever, it wouldn't be. We wouldn't be. When I listened to the interview, the people sitting up there laughing about it, I was like, y'all are just as bad as Yachty for sitting up there laughing at it.
To some extent, okay. Let me play the white devil's advocate.
Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
To some extent, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
From the perspective of, like, let's just put it on the table. From the perspective of, was this the most amazing record of all time and all these things? No, it wasn't. It was a fun party record. It was
was a loop.
It was a loop. It was, to be honest, I think they're actually rapping on beat better than anything I've ever heard Yachty ever do. Just keep that a buck. But, like, it's just a fun party record. There's interesting story around it, but it was the first big commercial record that introduced and paved the way. It paved the way. You know what I mean? Like, and but yeah, sure. All those things that they're laughing about. Yeah, there's some truth to it, but that's not not really the point.
No.
That's not the meat and potatoes of the conversation.
Exactly. That's what, So sure, I guess from one perspective, yeah, I guess you can joke about that stuff to some point, but it goes back to Mike's piece. Like, if you're gonna have that staunch type of like stance on something like this, then you kind of have to, like, especially if you're like within the same realm of making music in this similar type of way of like popular-esque type music, just catchy music, things of that nature. Like, you're doing the same type of stuff, but from a technical standpoint, like, some of the stuff he's doing from a technical standpoint is still not even as good from a 1979 record called Rapper's Delight. Like, like, he's not even rapping better than the Sugar Hill Gang.
Yeah.
that
Like,
part.
From a technical
Like you
standpoint.
said, at least the Sugar Hill Gang were on beat.
That's what I mean. So, like, in the phrasing and everything that they were doing. So, I mean, from one perspective, it's just like, are you, it's kind of silly, it's just kind of a silly thing. I don't know. To answer your question, Mike, I don't think he's the right messenger for it.
That's where I'm with it.
But I also think that,
The right messenger isn't going to critique it like that, though.
Exactly. I think that's another piece, these conversations, I think, are important to have, though. I do think it's important to have conversations like this to put this stuff in perspective, because we can agree with Yachty, just like the same time when Melly Mel was coming out, and we could talk about Melly Mel rapping now like he was rapping back then. It's like, sure, some of the stuff was a little bit comical when we saw.
But it's evolved.
When we saw
it's evolved.
When we saw Hannibal Buress, do his thing, like the hip and hop and the like, it's funny because to some extent, but like there's context involved.
I just think him being he put his foot in his mouth with the freestyle that came afterwards, and it just highlights the fact that you're not that person. You're not that person, and you've been tone deaf to, history and your predecessors by the comments that you've made in the past, and we're still talking about this.
Yeah. The problem is
insecurity. Like, are you not getting the love from your peers? Like, what are we doing here? Because this has become somewhat of a theme to be associated with Yachty. Go ahead, bro.
He's monetarily successful.
Okay.
You can't take anything away from his bank account. His bank account is a lot larger than a lot of his predecessors.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
When people get money, they feel like sticking their chest out. Just because you have money does not make you real. It does not make you better than anybody that came before you.
It doesn't make you an expert on it.
Exactly. They laid a path for you. You're on a path of a lot better, opportunity than they were on. And they laid the foundation. So for you to do that, to me, is a smack in the face of one of your, your founding members of something that you're participating in. And granted, the lyrics weren't all that. I mean, ain't nobody writing a Rapper's Delight 2026.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But as far as the time was concerned, even if you listen to other music that came out around that same time,
it was, be clear, it was mind blowing at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was, this is the one of one. Like, Yachty, you're in a See, you're in an era now where technology is crazy. You've had all the access to everything that you could possibly do to be a rapper, and you're still at the level that you're at. These guys were founding fathers. They didn't know what they were doing. A lot of those records that they did early on was just to get the party hype. It wasn't conceptual. It wasn't deep. It wasn't about the bars. It was about, yo, we about to turn up and this party's about to be lit. So
we're going to say some Mother Group's rhymes that's going to go together.
And everybody going to have a good time.
Yeah, I mean,
so I'm looking at a person that has access to everything. When you fast forward evolution, and you still sound the way you sound, those are the type of things I'm trying to talk about. Like, fam, what happened?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I'm hating. I'm old. Maybe I'm hating.
No, I mean, it's just that, like, if you play me something like when I was a certain age, like I'd be like, okay, yeah, this is cool, but it's not mine, even though it's hip hop. I remember, my dad had, the Rappers Delight record. I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't my record,
right? Like
that, So, I mean, it came out a year after I was born.
Right.
So I had an appreciation for it. I had appreciation for the message, because that was the first, like, kind of street political record. But, once I was deep into what I consider to be a hip hop fan, like LL Cool J was so much more than, what I heard on Rappers Delight. So it was sometimes it's hard for you to go back.
But it never made you come to the point where, that shit was trash.
No, because I understood there was a level of, okay, that was for that time, but when I hear I'm bad, okay, this is mine.
Somebody eventually is gonna say, I was listening to LL Cool J, I'm bad, and he was trying to be tough. That shit's whack. Somebody's gonna eventually
I guarantee there's gonna be somebody who hears there's gonna be somebody who hears Kendrick Lamar in 20 years, and they're gonna be like, man, what the hell was he doing?
They're just gonna say the same thing Drake was saying.
Yeah.
Turn your TV off. Turn your TV off.
Yeah. he rapping trying to get the slaves freed.
Yeah, there's just gonna
that type dumb shit.
I think another important piece about Rappers Delight is that it was a disco record. It was like a disco.
It definitely was a
disco.
disco.
It was a disco rap record.
First of all, it was good. They were just rapping over a loop of Good Times by Chic.
Yeah.
Like let's not act like this was what we would consider to be. But at the same time, when the rap that was done in the park was what might have been jazz, rock. They was rapping over disco records. In fact, the whole idea of a rap record was brand new when this came out, because rap was strictly on tapes. It was what you passed around of what was recorded at parties. There was no rap industry before Rappers Delight. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we're gonna get into hip hop so we can make records and sell them in the store. That wasn't even a thing before Rappers
That's
Delight.
exactly that's the irony of this entire thing, is that Rappers Delight is literally the fundamental piece.
There we go.
Of why Yachty has any success at all.
Facts.
Then after that, it was
because he's not a talented. I don't want to say he's not a talented artist, but he's not like the top tier talented artist of his generation. He's just somebody who has made some stuff that's popped off.
But there's a level of I'm gonna be a snob here, but there's a level of accountability, and it goes to Terry's point about once you make a certain amount of money. People always say, well, they can't tell you shit once you make a certain amount of money.
Here I am.
But there's a level of accountability from a standpoint of me being able to openly say it, and not as a grown man now that we are now. I could have said this 15, 20 years ago. I couldn't name you Sugar Hill Gang's album and whatever the records were, or Melly Mel, whatever y'all want to talk about in the early phases of it. I couldn't name y'all the records. I don't know the albums. I can openly say that and still be able to say those are the founding fathers. I'm not about to disrespect them because I know that those circumstances are different from what we are now. Even in the 90s, I would have been able to say that. 2000s, I would have been able to say that. So it's the accountability part. It's the snob in you where it's like, I think I'm better than I am. A lot of that comes out in this because you not that nice in real life.
Yeah, you're
really not that nice.
Bourgeoisie, you know what I'm saying, type of person.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, we give Yachty a lot of rope.
Oh, we gave him some grace. We gave him a lot of grace. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
What was the other like most popular rap tune that
Cold Like Minnesota?
No, not from him.
I have a better version of Cold Like Minnesota.
Yeah, I remember. But now the one that Kendrick actually sampled, where the girl is rapping, where she mentions Fab Five Freddy.
Oh, you're talking about Blondie.
Blondie, yeah. That was the first one I think that was commercially.
No, I mean, like, no, Rappers Delight was a commercial
It
record.
was.
Yeah,
Right,
that was
you're
very
right.
much a commercial record.
But I think that was number 2. That would have been
Well,
the
that was-
second.
that's
The
what-
Message?
no, you're talking about, like, the Rapture.
Rapture.
Oh,
The Rapture
the Rapture.
came out, and, like, there are people, like, once again, when you put a white face on it, and this is no diss to Debbie Harry or her crew, but it was just like, oh, people were like, oh, rap music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it didn't make sense until, like, they could put a white face on it.
Facts.
I mean, and once again, I've told people, you know, because people have tried to, like, say certain things from, or take some things from what I've said, and they're like, yeah, that's how I feel about the Beastie Boys. And I had to be like, hey, hold on. I wasn't talking about the Beastie Boys.
At all. At
You
all.
know,
Beastie Boys actually owned their lane and didn't try to be something that they weren't.
no, I mean, and the thing is, like, I'd say the industry is at fault for some of the way some people perceive the Beastie Boys, because when Ill Communication came out, Ill Communication came out, they would go ahead and put their records on alternative radio when that became really a thing. And it was like, well, wait a minute, this is I understand with Sabotage, okay, with all the guitar riffs in it.
That was fire.
Even though that's exactly what they've been doing the whole time. But like when you would play the records that are clearly, like, you know, intergalactic, that's a hip hop record.
Yeah.
And you would play that on the alternative radio station next to, you know, Mudhoney or Alice in Chains, and I think Alice in Chains, but
Shouts
you
to
know,
Mudhoney.
Limp Bizkit.
no, I mean that's a little bit after. But I'm just saying they would put them in that category, and that's not what they were. And so that's the industry's fault that we have that perception, because they always were doing hip hop records.
It's
I have
similar.
to-
It's similar to why, like, Tyler's argument against why am I always in the rap category because I'm black.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I have to ask this because it's escaping my mind, but it's one of my favorite Beastie Boys joints when they're in the woods and they have
So what
It's-
you want? Yeah.
So what
That
you
joint
want,
is
what
cra-
you want?
that joint is crazy, bro. That's one of my favorite records from them, man.
I'm telling you, go back and listen. Ill Communication is one of my
Yeah.
favorite records from the 90s.
But nah, Yachty's the wrong messenger, and he's, you know, consistently just dives into this here and there and looks stupid when he says this. And
He still continues to get paid, so he's still going to keep
Does he?
saying it.
at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
he's still
I mean,
getting paid.
I
He
take it
getting
back.
paid.
Yeah, he gets paid, but it's just like,
He getting paid.
is, you know, when's the last time we were like, oh yeah, Yachty's got
It ain't even about the.
Nah,
It ain't even about the
thing
music.
about Yachty,
His
Yachty
album?
has positioned himself
Yeah, it's not
to
about
make
the music.
money other ways. He has his own Nikes.
Clothing
He's
line,
had pizzas
yeah.
and grocery stores, things of that nature. So as far as his business acumen and whoever is leading him in the right direction
Top tier.
to
Oh, no.
stay paid,
Yeah.
he's set.
He had an Axe body spray or body wash or
Yeah.
something. I said, man, his representation.
But
is-
Yachty-
he was in a Target commercial. I
Yeah.
said, they are doing a good job with this
Sprite.
young man.
Yeah,
Yachty
man.
is one of those guys where, you know, you talk about the artists that I guess enjoy rap, but they got in. And once you get in, then you expand on your horizon. You use your
Popularity.
popularity, and then you flip that and turn it to other ventures that you feel like you're talented in. I feel like he's that kid. I think when he talks about, you know, his generation compared to older generations and how they get looked on or frowned upon, in my gut, in my heart, I don't think he really cares. I think it's more of a trolling situation where he brings it up
No,
every
I
once in a
don't
while.
think so.
I don't think he
Nah.
really cares.
It's not a trolling. He really feels like this.
You think
This
he
is
really
the-
cares?
I really
no,
yeah.
it's not about caring. I'm saying this is what he really feels about the music
okay,
that he's
okay.
listened to
Okay.
prior to him coming out. It has nothing to do with trolling.
I got you.
This is his literal feeling. He doesn't feel like he needs to respect a genre that he's a part of.
okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It's
Okay.
not
I
a
think-
trolling situation.
I'm not mad at that.
No,
Okay.
I think
All
and this works against him, is where he can listen to Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang and think, oh, they're not any better than I am. But I'm like, that was the first hip hop record ever. Like, you don't realize you're kind of putting yourself down if you're in your mindset. It was like, oh man, they're not that much better than me. Think about all the advantages and the technology you have to take, the time you can take to actually write records.
That's what I said.
And in your mindset, you'd be like, oh man, I could do this. It's like, well, yeah, you should be able to, but honestly,
Because
you
they
can't.
showed you the way.
Yeah, they gave you a blueprint.
100%. I'm with you on that, Terry. I can rock with that.
Rappers Delight literally gave everybody a blueprint on how to rap. Okay, rap on beat, rhyme your words, do it like this.
Yeah.
And
that's the basics of rap, though. It evolved.
But it's like the bottom level of what you need to do.
There's parts of it that are actually a full-on narrative as opposed to them just rapping.
Yeah, telling a story. Yeah.
Facts.
Casanova Fly.
And that was one of the first situations of a ghostwriter because old dude did not write that verse.
And he said, "That's it. I gotta leave this place. I don't care what these people think. I'm just sitting here with this ugly food that stinks."
Yeah,
they about to call you old as hell for that.
And food tastes like wood.
Chicken tastes like wood.
Yeah.
It was funny. It still is.
Yeah,
funny. I agree that some of it's funny, but
you still got to have a level of accountability there.
Yeah,
man.
That's all.
Some things you just leave alone. I mean,
leave it alone, man. You're never gonna you're never gonna win this argument.
It's like
never going to work.
You have to respect who came before you.
Yeah.
Even like I had architectural classes that taught you about how old structures were made. Mm-hmm. It wasn't to demean the old structures.
Mm-hmm.
It was to say these are the structures that were made and they worked for the time that they were made.
That part.
Those structures evolved. Now we're able to do them on this level. Yeah. Now we're able to do them on this level. But you still have to go back and respect and understand what that structure meant.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
NewOldHeads.com for all the education you need this year. If you see it, like it, subscribe, hit any bell you see for notifications. Don't forget the 5-star ratings. And also do not forget our Patreon where you can get the unedited full episodes. We appreciate your support and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
In a minute.
Goodbye.